Hello, accountability buddies. I'm Les, and this is another episode of Less is More Healthy, coming to you from the car as I run some errands. I'm just finishing them up actually, and I'm doing them by car because, well, I ended up going on the highway and I really didn't want to take the loop around on my bike. Anyway, what I wanted to do was check in after my ride yesterday. So I've decided I'm going to do sections of the East Coast Greenway this summer. And yesterday I did a section from Danvers to Newburyport, Massachusetts. It's only 25 miles. The actual section that I did was 25 miles, but I rode a little over 30 miles because I rode from my house to the trailhead. And that's a great thing about where I live. I don't live far from the East Coast Greenway, but so I'm able to get to it easily either by bike or by train. And so that is really kind of determining what I'm going to do as part of my rides. So yeah, like I said yesterday, I did a 30-mile ride. It was just over 30 miles. I'd intended to ride a loop. So the first half was going to be the East Coast Greenway, and then the second half was going to be a loop home. And I hit that 30-mile mark and I was toast. And this is bringing me to the first thing that I learned. I need to fuel my body better than I am currently. Um, I didn't take in enough calories that morning to fuel me for the whole ride. I didn't bring enough of my anti-bonk juice. And I didn't bonk, but I was probably close to it. And I did not bring my blood glucose meter with me, which was a mistake. I had intended to, but I took the meter out of my pannier and I put it into my work bag, um, and just forgot to transfer it over when I went for my ride. Big mistake, probably not the best move on my part. The other thing that I did that was a not very smart move was to basically not fuel my body well. So yesterday I had my normal protein shake before I left. And I really think that if I'm going to do anything over 25 miles, I need to double that up. I think for a 25 mile ride, the regular protein shake is fine. But when I'm doing more than 25 miles, I need more than just that. I think it's like 200 calories in that shake. It might be south of that, might be 190, but I need more calories than what's in that protein shake to fuel me for the whole ride. I also need to double up my anti-bonk juice. If you don't know the anti-bonk juice, it's basically Country Time lemonade or Tang mixed with the Element electrolyte recipe. So you can go to the Element page, LMNT. You can see their recipe for electrolytes. That's what I use. I do the DIY version of it. I just mix that in with a um, with a basically whatever I can get in terms of beverage mix. You could do Kool-Aid, you could do whatever, but I do the ready-made Tang or Country Time lemonade for my anti-bonk juice. I should do a whole episode just on that. I also, like, if I'm doing a really short ride, I won't do a sugar mix. I will do a no sugar juice mix. So like um, lemon or lime, like lemonade type thing, limeade type thing with the Element mix. Works really well, tastes great. Um, anyway, so that's what I do for that. And that's been working really well for those shorter rides. However, yesterday I needed more calories, basically. I've got plenty of stored calories around my middle, but my body basically just needed a little more help getting there. And, when I sat down for the train, I realized I was in danger of being hypoglycemic or bonking. And that is not a good place to be for a diabetic, type 1, type 2, whatever. Not a good spot to be for a diabetic. Can be really dangerous. I've talked about this before. I'm not going to harp on it, but um, I I realized that as the train was approaching, that it was not a good spot for me to be in physically. So that is something I'm gonna have to like make sure that I add into my pannier some like maybe another container of the anti-bonk. I don't know. I do pre-mix it into Old Noon um, electrolyte mix tab containers, and that just gives me some options. So also I didn't have a protein bar with me. I did get some food at the end of my ride, not at a place I would recommend. That was an unpleasant eating experience for sure. um but anyway, yeah, the ride was great. The first 15 miles that I rode was basically known roads, the rail trail that I ride on the regular, and then the last 15 miles was some roads that I've ridden before, and then some stuff I hadn't ridden before. It was pretty challenging in terms of hills. It's also led me to an understanding that I got to add more hills into my training routine. Um, I felt pretty good, all things considered, with the hills, um, but I am thinking that I just need to be better at hills. So I'm going to do some hill training, I guess. I'm going to seek out some routes with more hills, some more challenging because I did 1,500 feet of elevation, and some of those hills were these short, steep little hills that you were a 5 to 7% grade, which there were some of them whereas I really thought I was going to have to walk them. I was really, really happy for the hill climbing gears that I put onto the bike, because if I had had the old gearing on this bike, I would have walked most of those hills. So if you have the Ozark Trail G1 and you are going to be doing some of the East Coast Greenway, do yourself a favor. And if you're not going to swap out the wheels, get one of those free wheels that has the mega range and go with that. You definitely need some hill climbing gears for the East Coast Greenway, particularly that section between Newburyport, Massachusetts, and Topsfield. Those hills are intense. Um, it was, but all that said, yeah, it was an intense climb or intense climbing with some fantastic downhills. My top speed was like 29.5 miles per hour. Um, just, the bike felt great for the most part. I had a few gearing issues, and I blame those gearing issues on on my installation of a 10-speed cassette, not a 12-speed cassette, and the L2 RX is a 12-speed brifter and 12-speed derailleur. Now, the derailleur is dumb, but the brifter itself is what controls the pull. And I think what was happening was that the brifter was just not able to do the larger lift that the 10-speed cassette needed. It's just like slightly different range on there than what was there like what there needs to be. After I got home from the ride, I immediately pulled the trigger on my this paycheck purchase, which is a 12-speed cassette, 11 to 46 tooth. It'll be here Thursday, which means I'll be able to get it on the bike probably Friday night and be riding it by Saturday. So I'm hoping to do another section of the East Coast Greenway next weekend. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to take the train into Boston and ride out from Boston, or if I'm going to ride into Boston. I haven't decided yet. I also don't know what sections I'm going to do for my last 2 days of vacation here. So I'm really enjoying this. I enjoy the challenge of doing the East Coast Greenway. I'm hoping I can get a big chunk of Maine done um, when I'm on vacation next month and the month after. And we'll see what happens. We'll just, you never know what's going to happen. It should be a good time. Um, but yeah, in terms of recovery, my body feels really good today. My usual recovery routine, I think, worked really well for me. I think I've got some more work to do on fueling my body during the ride. So I'm going to be doing some more research into that. I do have an appointment coming up with my diabetes specialist. I'm going to talk to her about that and see if we can figure out what's going to make my body perform the best while I'm doing these longer rides. So anyway, with that, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you being here. Really appreciate all of the new subscribers. Um, Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Bye.